Hey! Okay, so I've wanted to talk about this subject all month. You're gonna have to bear with me. I was hoping to wear the eye makeup and everything, but things being as they are, I know. So, the Elvira movie. Oh my gosh, I'm such a big fan of Elvira. If you haven't picked up on that yet. So, Elvira, first of all, Elvira was everywhere in the 80s. And even in the 90s and that sort of thing. I mean, she was, I think I said it in another video where there was like the cardboard cutouts and posters and that sort of thing. I think she was endorsing, I don't remember what beer, but by the 90s she had her own beer and everything. She had her own cosmetics, and I think she's still selling her own cosmetics and everything. But so yeah, you saw her everywhere. Of course, she had her own TV series and that sort of thing. And so by 1988, the movie came out, which is titled Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Now, here's the thing. It came out, I was very young. I was like 6, 7 years old. And funny story. I have a cousin who, she was like 14, 15 years old when this movie came out. Now, at the time, you could rent movies at like a gas station or like one of those corner stores. And they had like a little rack, and so you could rent, and I think it was like a 24-hour period. And so she rented this movie and brought it. So I saw quite a bit of things at a very young age. But it's so funny because I talk about these things and people online are like, "Oh my gosh, where were your parents?" My mom dropped me off at other people's houses. She couldn't be bothered with me, okay? So and then she'd get mad. Just like with this. She got so mad because it was like, "What are you showing?" And it's like, "You weren't there." But so anyway, yeah. But so the plot for this movie is, of course, you see Elvira, she's doing her show and everything, and her boss is a sleazeball and everything, and she has the idea that she's going to do a Vegas show, but she needs money for it. Money she doesn't have. And so this friend of hers gives her this letter that she got, and it's from a relative. Relative died, and she needs to go to the reading of the will. And so she's like, "Well, what if I end up with, and so she goes to the reading of the will, and turns out she ends up with something at this town that's very conservative." Now, we all know someone like Elvira doesn't really fit in, but that's the fun part, is the teenagers absolutely adored Elvira. Everyone else did not. And that's the fun thing, is that the one person that absolutely could not stand her, there was two people who couldn't stand her, but the one person that really could not stand her was the actress who played the secretary in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And oh, she's just having fits. So yeah, she's in this movie, and she's just on a rampage trying to get rid of Elvira. The other gal, she works in a bowling alley, and she likes the guy that works in the theater. Well, it turns out, of course, that Elvira knows all this stuff about because of her, and so so they form a connection. This guy, I think his name is Bob, if I remember right. Yeah, Bob, and and her name was Peggy. So Peggy is the one that works at. It's just a bunch of nonsense. It's great. And this is the movie that if you've seen like a moving clip or whatever online where it has her at the marquee and she goes back and she goes like this and it says how to and yeah. This is where you'll see that. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a lot of innuendo and everything, as only Elvira can do. I was 6 when I saw it. And I think the funniest part about that, I have my 14, I think she was 15 by that point. Here she is, she's 15 and she's watching. She's supposed to be kind of babysitting us because I think there were, my other cousins were there too. And we're watching. I mean, we saw Elvira all the time. And I think that's one of the reasons why she didn't really do anything. And and we were at my grandmother's house. My grandmother didn't really do anything either. She was in the other room working. And my mom comes in, she's like, "What is this?" Oh my gosh. That's why I am the way I am now. Oh man. But I love Elvira. One of the reasons I do, I know I'm going off track a little bit. I love Elvira because of the fact that growing up, she was different and she gave the idea, at least in my mind, she gave the idea that it was okay to be different. Be different and be confident in the fact that you're different. Okay. I still have some insecurities, but I'm working on it. And but that's why I love her so much. And I think that's why we all love her. Among other reasons too. I'm sure that but I'm trying not to touch on that. Oh goodness. But anyway, so yeah, it's there's a bunch of little misadventures and everything. Like I said, the teenagers love her and the adults don't for reasons I'm sure. But it's it's absolutely great. And of course, if you've seen pictures, people saying gonk, it's the dog. And and you'll understand more when you watch the movie and everything. And so it's just it's very quotable, very funny. And I quoted it all through middle school and high school and everything. First of all, after my mom saw that I saw it in sixth when I was 6, I didn't see it again until I was in middle school. So, and she didn't know. And anyway, but so I love this movie. It's got a great cast to it. But the other thing is, again, I said it in another video, it seems like all the movies I love bombed. This one didn't do so. In fact, I was reading that before I did this video, I read that Elvira got Worst Actress of 1988. 88 or 89, and it's like, oh, good heavens. But I think it's one of those signs of the times because you watch it now and people love it. They absolutely love it. So a lot of movies make comebacks. I mean, like Labyrinth didn't make it. Look at it now; it's got a huge fan base. Newsies, look at it. Rocketeer, look at it. And you just go down the list of all these different movies that bombed, and they've just yeah. And but So anyway, this it it has quite the following now, and it was, I guess it was supposed to have a sequel, and actually one other thing is, because I don't want to go too far, but there are a lot of references to other movies in this. So be aware of that. She does reference a lot of movies, and especially towards the end when there's the fight scene. So be ready for that. And of course, at the beginning when she's in her dressing room, you do see pictures of famous people. There is Vincent Price there because of course they were really good friends. So, and but the ending was like set up for a sequel, but it never happened, and I'm guessing because it bombed so bad and everything. But I believe I said it in the video that I did for the video games, that the video games kind of pick up where the film left off. So when you play the video games, it, yeah, takes off from there. So, but anyway, this is the movie for Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.